What's good? What's good, everybody? Man, we got a good audio tonight, man. I'm definitely gonna drop something for you guys that I know you guys are going to really like. But before we get started, go ahead, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to, get your thoughts on things. And hey, this might be one that I wouldn't be surprised to hear some things in the comments, but I digress. So let's just jump into the topic, man. So tonight's topic that I want to talk about is that life is a bee, literally, metaphorically, and metaphysically. Let me repeat. Life is a bee, literally, metaphorically, physically, and metaphysically. Right. And so there's three elements to it, man, as far as the life that we live in. Right. So let me just put it all in perspective. Do you ever remember the time when maybe you were young and you were a kid and you asked, what is life? What is life? What does it mean? Or had somebody come up to you and ask you, well, what is life? Or what's the meaning of life? Right. And either you didn't have the answer for that when someone asked you that, or when you asked somebody that, there's probably a good chance that they didn't give you the answer that you were looking for. You just felt like you didn't get anything from that. And so usually when it comes to life, right, just kind of breaking down in simplest terms, life operates in the feminine form. So let me repeat. If you get nothing else from this audio, definitely get this part, that life operates in the feminine, right? So you're probably thinking, Charlie, what are you talking about, right? So here's the thing. The reason why life operates in the feminine is that this channel focuses on energy a lot, right? And so a lot of the topics that we talk about, a lot of things that we talk about in these audios on YouTube, especially, focuses on energy, right? It focuses on how energy works, how to utilize energy, and the way how you can take that and see and experience manifestations that you want in your life, right? You don't find too many channels really talking about energy, but this is one of the few channels that does focus on that, right? So it'd be perfect to have a topic like this, right? So here's the thing. When you talk about life and why life operates in the feminine, if you just look at your own life, if you take a chance to reflect on your own life, right? Would you say that your own life was very standard? It was very like, boom, A to Z every single time. There were no interruptions. There were no distractions. There were no interferences, anything like that. I highly doubt it, man. Especially if you live life long enough, I highly doubt that. This life teaches you that there's so many different things to it, and this life is so layered, right? And think about it. When you're just talking about just energy alone, one of the things that I learned at an early age was that the key to life is balance, right? You need balance in your life in order to see things present in this physical realm, in this world, in this earth that we live in. You need the balance of the two, right? And so this is for the guys especially, I definitely want my ladies to stick around, but I'm speaking to the guys specifically on this one. This is why it's important as a guy to get your energy right and get your masculine energy right. And the reason for that is because when you get your masculine energy right, knowing that life operates in the feminine form, you've now created that balance that is needed in order to see the manifestations take place, right? And that's why it's so important. That's why I stress to you guys, as for guys especially, you got to be on your masculine. You've been put on this earth to be that, operate in that. And it's not, and being the masculine is not about just being macho, be like, I'm all about the broad shoulders, and blah, blah, blah. No, being masculine is just, learning to get things done, man. That part of being in the masculine is learning to get things done. and that's an important thing to have. You want to have that, right? So going back to what I was saying before, as far as in the literal sense, yes, life is a bee in the sense that you just go through life. You go through hardship. You go through seasons in your life. Sometimes you'll have seasons of joy. You'll have seasons of sorrow. You'll have seasons of scarcity. Sometimes you'll have seasons of lack, but you'll have seasons of wealth. You'll have seasons of abundance. And everything just operates in its different levels and its different seasons, right? That's just how it works. Think about this, Mother Nature, right? When you hear Mother Nature, what's the first thing you think about is the weather. 365 days a year, maybe for the exception of like maybe a couple countries in this world, the weather changes consistently. You'll have your seasons for summer, and then you'll have fall, and then you have winter, and then you have spring. No one season is the same. It's like I said, it's just part of the ecosystem. That's just how it works, right? And so that's why in the literal sense, it could be hard, it could be tough, because you got to go through certain things, you got to go through certain periods, right? And the key to be able to handle that part as a man is like I said, you got to have your masculine energy on point. And so, Charlie, how do I get my masculine energy on point? Okay, good question. So to get your masculine energy on point, understand that masculinity is all about operating and executing what it is that you want to execute in life, right? That's part of being in the masculine. Being in the masculine is about being a go-getter. And to be a go-getter, you have to make that choice to stick to one idea, stick to something that you want to do, and then put the energy into that one thing that you want to do. So that way, when you combine that with the possible, right? Because in the feminine, anything's possible. As a masculine, when you're operating in that structure, you're going to see the manifestation. I just had a recent audio talking about manifestations and abundance. Check it out, guys. Honestly, I dropped some good knowledge on that. Definitely check it out, right? And part of being your masculine is understanding that as a man, you're going to fail a lot of times, but your failure isn't defined by that. You got to just keep at that. This is where your consistency comes in. This is where your focus comes in. This is where your determination comes in. This is where your doggoneness has to come in. You're going to have to develop those particular things. And that's how you're able to develop more into your masculine. And when you can start to develop that, then that's when you're going to, even when things don't seem like it's going well, it has to manifest itself for it, because you've now put yourself in a position for that to occur, because you're now operating in that masculine realm, right? So when I say life is a bee metaphorically, it's just like life a lot of times. I know this is a struggle that a lot of guys have in relationships, right? For instance, like with women, they might have a hard time in terms of dating with women and things like that, and not understand why that they're struggling when it comes to females. But a lot of times, the biggest mistake that guys make when it comes to relationships, especially when it comes to relationships with women, is that the guys stop making it about themselves, right? And I know there's going to be some people be like, Charlie, how can you sit up in here and talk about men being selfish? Well, here's the thing, when it comes to dating aspects and putting that just on that alone right now, more often than not, women love a guy who can stay focused on him. Think about the whole bad boy thing, right? Part of what makes a bad boy is that he just does what he wants to do when he wants to do it on his own timetable, right? He doesn't go by societal rules. He doesn't go by what people want him to be or what people think of him. He can give a damn about that. He doesn't care. He's going to do what he wants to do, and he's going to pave his own way. He's going to carve his own lane, because that's who he is. That's what makes him the attractive man, And we can go on to a whole soapbox about that, but I'm not going to do that here. That's for another time and probably for another audio maybe. But the important thing to understand is that that's what draws women to this man, is the fact that he does him, and he's successful doing him regardless of what people think of him, right? And so the mistake that a lot of guys make is the fact that they feel like that they have to now lose themselves in the process in order to gain the approval in that relationship with that said woman. And that's where they start to run into problems, because a lot of guys think, okay, well, I need to go ahead and do this. I need to go ahead and I need to make this happen for her. I need, you know what I'm saying? And it's not a bad thing, but it's too unselfish. And you stop operating in your masculine now. And now you're not operating in your element. You're now outside of your realm of who you are as a person. So because you're operating outside of the realm of who you are as a person, by default, you get punished as a man for that, because you're not strictly staying in your lane in terms of who you are and your essence. And that's the thing. You're losing your essence by doing that. You don't want to do that. You know, you want to stay focused on you, and you have a game plan, and you set the parameters for the type of relationships that you want to have, and what your expectations are, and what it is that you're looking to do, and what you're expecting from your partner. And when you're doing those things, that's when you're going to be able to have that balance again, because now that masculine is in place now, because the leadership is there, you know, the structure is there. You know, and that's one of the things for women, especially. It's a turn on for a man to be able to have structure and to be able to have a plan, to have a vision and carry out that vision. Women are very attracted to that because it speaks on their level of security, you know, and they're no longer having to be in survival mode now, because now they have a man who is operating in his masculine, which therefore she can operate in her feminine. You get what I mean, guys? And so that's why I say it that way. Now, when you talk about on the metaphysical, right? The metaphysical, that's the thing. So the spirit realm, obviously, it's a powerful realm. I've talked about this many times. But the thing with the spirit realm is that there's so many different things that go on. There's so many different things that go on, right? But you have to be able to take the impossible, take anything that's possible to make it possible, right? And so this is where you have to allow your ideas to flow through. So as a man, a lot of times you can be too structured, right? And sometimes by being too structured, you don't give yourself the opportunity to let creativity flow through. Because you got to remember, like, in this life that we live in, you know, like I said, you need the balance again. And so you need to be able to have that level of creativity that can flow. So that way ideas can flow. That way opportunities can start to then flow. And then you can be able now to take any one of those ideas that may flow into your mind, whatever that idea may be. And now you can be able to now say, hey, okay, we're going to do this. Okay. And so let's start doing a checklist on how we're going to make this particular thing happen. Right. Because remember, it's metaphysical. We live in a metaphysical world. You know, think about it when you even talk about metaphysical, like, no one city is even the same energy wise. Yeah, you may have cities that look similar in terms of structure, in terms of just, you know what I'm saying, like the infrastructure, just things like that. But the energy is not the same in different places, man. So the energy, for example, in New York is not going to be the same kind of energy that you would experience in Los Angeles or in San Francisco, right? And so that's an important thing. That metaphysical is very, very important. And so you as a man, when you're operating in that metaphysical, you're now operating under a certain scope, right? And so under that certain scope, you have to now think about how you want to be able to create something that's going to help you and help others, really, to be able to start to see that anything is possible, man. Because like I said, you know, they say that one of the biggest regrets in life, or not the biggest regret in life, but one of the biggest like places where you see untapped possibilities is in the grave, right? Because you've had so many lives that have lived on this earth that never got the chance to really experience what it is to really see the type of life that they could live, right? And I don't want that for you guys. I want you guys to be able to be the type to be like, hey, you know what? No, I want this to be in my life. This is the plan that I have, and I want to go out here, I want to execute it, and I want to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I say life is a B, man, because like I said, in my opinion, I think we live in a very feminine world, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. But as a man, you got to be able to know how to navigate through that. You have to be able to understand that that is the reality. That is what's going on. That is the situation that's taking place. And you have to be able to adjust accordingly to that. And if you're able to do that and you're able to understand the laws of nature, the laws of attraction, then you're going to start to see success come from that. And so that's why it's important to understand that you have to know who you are as a person. And especially for the guys out here, you got to understand how to really tap into that masculine. Because when you tap into that masculine is when you're going to start to see change occur in your life. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to end this audio here. Go ahead, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Definitely great to hear from you guys. Love you guys. Keep going. Keep staying strong on your journey. And I will catch you guys on the next audio. Peace.